have it.
Yeah, I will. What's up?
I don't know why it's not popping up for me. It drives me crazy, man. Start sending us your video from your streaming software to go live.
It's live.
I'm just telling you what it says.
They're in there.
I understand that. I can't see it.
Gotcha.
You're fine.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see what you're saying now. I don't see that. This is a stream.
Something for you to Google so we can figure out. Okay.
See if there's a YouTube video on it.
YouTube studio. Yeah. See if there's a YouTube video on YouTube.
All right, here we go. Welcome into the live stream. I got to turn this down. I thought I had it down. There it goes. Welcome into the live stream, McCready and Siskey. We're getting closer, thank God, because we leave tomorrow to knowing what we're doing here. I hate this thing.
We're fixing to do the haze in the barn at this point in time.
Now we've got this.
Just don't rip it.
It won't stay up. That's what she said. I mean, it's hard to make it work. It won't stay up, you know?
I don't think they make any blue pills for microphones. I hope my mom hasn't tuned in yet.
Hey, Campbell, how are you? Yeah, I'm back to podcast with Tyler. What's going on with you? Oh, okay, you getting close? Okay, well, when I finish, I'll call. You'll probably be there by then, but I'll call and say hello. All right, babe. I love you too. Bye. I'm not even going to fool with the stream. Welcome into the show. We're going to start a stream. We're not going to be here along with you guys today. We're basically testing some equipment. Appears to be generally working. Is that right? We're good? Okay.
We only have one thing left, right? And that's your studio thing?
My studio thing.
To where you can see the chat.
Yeah. I can't see this chat without following along on my phone, so
And then
I'll follow along on my phone.
I have an annoying buzzing in one of my cords that I have to adjust. So that's why I'm wearing a headset.
Yeah, we'll just flip it out. We'll use this cord for the third one for the next show. But
it is what it is. I can fix it. See,
You hear the buzz, but they don't, right?
Oh, you can hear
You
it.
can probably hear it. Yeah.
It's really weird. I
off and
listened
on,
back to
yeah.
the show the
Change
other
it
day.
out real quick before we record. There's no point in recording a podcast with the buzz.
No, I can fix it when it starts
Like,
buzzing.
It,
I just tap
it
it.
starts for like half a second. He just touches the.
Oh, gotcha. So it's not a constant buzz.
No.
Okay. All right. So it's the last person in the chat. I'm making sure I'm even connected. The last person in the chat, Austin.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. All right. Good. All right. We'll get rolling with a
Audio file.
edit. Thank you. It's been a day, but we're good. It's been a week. Learned a lot this week.
It's about to be a week.
I'll just tell you this. I'll save it for the show. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
Welcome into episode number 42 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neil McCready. That is Tyler Siskey. It is Thursday. Well, if you're 2 o'clock, December the 15th, getting close to Santa's big trip. Getting close to our big trip. We leave tomorrow. We leave long before Santa embarks from the North Pole. We leave tomorrow. Tyler is driving to the airport. There's a decent chance. There's a strong chance. There's a Georgia over Ohio State chance that there's going to be a libation in my cup in the passenger. You know, you can sit in the passenger seat. I'll sit in the back. I'm good. I'll just sit back in the back and just watch the miles go by.
It won't take us long. It's not driving with me. It's not for the faint of heart.
That's not good to know, but you know what? I'm going to put my life in a lot of people's hands too,
Yeah, I'll take care of you.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be fine.
All
Yeah,
right.
we'll be good.
So we're going to talk today about a number of things. We'll talk about Zach Arnett getting the head coaching gig at Mississippi State. Drew Brees is.
Did you even know that?
I knew something about it because a friend of mine covers a Big Ten school, and he had a question about what was going on with Purdue, and I said, "Man, I don't know. There are no rules anymore." Eric Morris gets the job at North Texas. We'll talk about that. NCAA has a new president, Charlie Baker. He's the current governor of the state of Massachusetts. Tyler's going to talk about where he thinks he's wrong about recruiting.
I will tell you when I'm wrong.
I know. Bowl games, opt-outs. Then we'll go over some games. Bowl season starts tomorrow. We got Miami and UAB in the Bahamas Bowl. We got UTSA and Troy in what should be a really good game in the Cure Bowl. San Francisco and Seattle in the NFL this evening. And then we'll talk a little bit about our trip leaving for Vegas. Tomorrow we'll be somewhere in the air.
No,
We'll be almost in the air tomorrow.
you'll be cracking beers at this.
We'll be taxiing.
I'm a
if
little
everything
bit.
goes according to plan.
You know, after we talked on the phone earlier today, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to have to get one of those luggage carts by the time we get to Vegas to see if I can get you two from the plane to the Uber.
I mean, I'm in.
You're in.
Whatever. I mean, I'm not driving.
keep you away from the tables when you get there.
Yeah. See, that's not a temptation for me.
I was telling my wife thinks I'm lying. I'm saying I'm okay.
I've been to Vegas several times. I can walk past blackjack tables, slot machines, roulette, craps, all of it. Not even the slightest temptation.
Now I'm gonna play, but
Now, see, I probably won't. Like the sports books, I'll probably go into a sports book and put a bet or two down. But like the blackjack tables and stuff, that does nothing for me.
do you know what I found out today that was interesting? Is probably why we have a problem here in the state of Mississippi. All the betting apps and all those things don't work in Nevada because they're making you go to the casino.
Oh.
Which of all places it should be legal, right? Nope. None of the.
They want you to physically
They
go.
want you to physically go, which I have no problem doing.
Yeah. So what's your thing? Are you blackjack or?
Blackjack, yeah, that's what I like to. That's my game.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. During while I've been doing it, you know, gambling, betting on games, I don't have the itch to go sit down and if I'm going to lose money, I'd rather lose it, you know, with watching a football game.
Yeah, that's me. I would much rather put $50 on a game and sit in a sports book and watch it
Yeah.
than I would $50 on a blackjack table. And I have nothing, by the way, I'm not judging. Everybody has their own things.
Yeah.
But like for whatever reason, that never That's never been a temptation.
Well, $50 won't get you very long at a blackjack table in Vegas.
You understand my point.
They have jacked those
Yeah, you understand
limits
my point.
up.
I mean, like, just the thought of like going and spending $500 to gamble at blackjack tables just does nothing for me.
You know what I really want to do, which is this is the worst gambling idea of all time, but I do like to put a couple $100 in slots and see what happens. I've never won. The most I've ever won is $100 on a slot machine. But for whatever reason, everyone that goes with me always wins at the slot machine. So let's see if I can crank it up.
I mean, if that's the case, if it's always.
Yeah, my mother hit a nice little jackpot the last time she went. So, of course, she hits the jackpot, then she gives me a lesson. Now, Tyler, you know it's so sad when you go to those casinos and you watch those people just lose all their money. I'm like, aren't you putting your money in there? But she's trying to give me this life lesson, you know.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
She's not wrong, but
Like, not judging.
Vegas is a
like,
little bit different, though.
But like the person that's just sitting there all day long pulling slots, I always think you've had a rough few weeks, haven't you?
Yeah. No, the ones that get me is it's where you go to bed and you wake back up the next morning and they're still sitting at the same slot machine. You ever seen that happen before? Yeah, I've seen that one. That was a interesting move. I was speaking at the Nike Coach of the Year clinic in Tunica. This was I think I was at Arkansas State at the time, and we went to dinner. And I was speaking the next morning, like first thing, like 8:00, whatever it was. We went to dinner at one of the steakhouses. I come up and we go to bed. Come back down the elevator. Same person sitting at the same thing, smoking cigarettes. Had to go through like a carton. Same slot when I was on my way to speak. So yeah, that was hopefully they won, because if they didn't, it'd been a long night.
If they were winning, it was probably the only thing they were winning at that point.
Yeah,
so
that's probably right.
keeping it real. We're brought to you each and every podcast by our friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits and achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. I did bring some Game Changer patches. I've got some.
All right,
some with me.
I'm glad you brought that up. You do have some?
I do have
You
some.
got some extra ones?
I will let you borrow.
I'm gonna have to test that theory out a little bit.
It's
Do they work?
they absolutely.
I mean,
work.
obviously they do, because they sponsor the
Absolutely
show.
work, no question.
I've never tried one
the
before.
warm-up patch and then the overtime patch.
All right, so what's the
The
difference?
warm-up patch is what you take before or while you drink,
Okay.
and then the overtime patch is if you'll be disciplined about it. If you'll pop that overtime patch on before you crash, you will wake up the next day and you will feel better than you would have.
I got you.
Significantly better.
So what if you can't distinguish between when you put on one patch or the other, if you never know when the overtime comes?
That's a you problem. I mean, it's a great product, but it's not like a miracle worker.
So
I don't know what you want.
So like in Vegas, right? So you're going to bed, but you're going to start drinking so quick. Do you just put on a new warm-up
You
patch?
can just keep the cycle going.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe have to try that theory out. Come up with a whole new Vegas slime for them.
Austin asked, do we ever see the day that gambling is going to be legal in Mississippi? I think so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know it's being worked on very heavily right now. Very, very heavily.
Yeah, we're certainly cheering for it. Let's put it that way.
No, it is. It's already legal as far as you can go bet. If people who aren't from Mississippi that are listening, it's legal. You can go bet at the sports books at the casinos. You can actually do, DraftKings and FanDuel and all those fantasy apps and do that kind of fantasy betting right now on the app. You just can't do the sports book, and probably for similar reason that you can't do it in Nevada. But I know that they're trying very hard to pass it, because I don't think a lot of the Mississippi revenue comes from sportsbook. The casinos have been around a long time before sports gambling was available in Mississippi, so I think they got a little headway there. So, but I know they're working on it very hard. I heard as early as the summer of 2023.
So next summer.
Yeah, that's what they're pushing for. So,
Can you believe we're already to 2023? We're like 16 days from 2023. 2022 flew by.
they do every year. They go faster and faster.
I mean, it flew by, man.
Yeah. We've been in here for 2 years now, which is crazy to me. We opened doors here with 3 employees in December of 2020. So it's pretty crazy.
Connor makes a good point. He says he wore a game changer at the Sugar Bowl. Probably had that thing on a week straight. Watch the hairy areas.
Is there a place you're supposed to put it?
You can put it on your shoulder. You can put it upper thigh.
Does it work better if you attach it to your liver?
If you can get it right on your liver, yes, that would be beneficial. Some people put them like on their wrist.
Okay.
There's not really a wrong spot. You don't want to put it on the hairiest spot of your body. I mean, because it's going to
so nowhere on me.
I mean, I'm not intimately familiar with every part of your body, nor do I want to be. So I don't know. But some people put it.
Some people mistake me for.
Some people put it like on their hip. You know, like where you get a shot.
Okay.
You know.
GameChangerPatch.com right here says that our favorite place is the top of the foot.
Top of the foot.
Okay.
That way nobody sees it, right? You don't.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
I'm not
It
planning
also
it.
says do not place them on hairy spots.
Is the top of your foot hairy?
Yeah, but that stuff doesn't bother me. I've been dealing with tape. I didn't use when I taped my ankles. I did not use pre-wrap.
Well, after a while, you didn't have any hair left to pull out, right?
Yeah, but I mean but for a while it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. It kind of feels good, snugger that way.
Well, you've talked about how you like pain. By the way, a shout out to our friends at Eastern Michigan. We're wearing the gear today.
Let's
getting
go.
ready for the big game.
Let's go.
Got our
Eagle Nation.
Eagle Nation got our stuff. Got our Eat Tough, I should say, wristbands.
I'm glad you said that because you know what else I wanted to talk about today?
What's that?
Have you looked at the weather forecast?
It was getting a little better. There is snow though, but the temperature's gotten warmer.
She's gonna be snowing, boys.
Yeah.
1 to 3 inches, and then 1 to 3 inches, and then 1 to 3 inches. There's gonna be snow on the ground.
Yeah, I'm just making. I am hopeful that there's not so much that we can't get out the next day.
Oh, we'll get out.
I'd like to get out.
We'll get out.
I mean, nothing against fine people of Boise because I anticipate really enjoying Boise. Our friend Gage is going to give us a tour. Going to get a tour of Boise. There are a handful of bars and restaurants that I'm already interested in exploring. But come Wednesday, I need to get out of there.
Are you going short sleeves and assless chaps to the game?
I am not. All chaps are assless. I am not wearing chaps. And look, I'm going to do the sleeve thing, but I've gone back and reviewed the tape, and there just was never any stipulation about sleeves. There was hoodies, sweatshirts, jackets.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and luckily there was also never anything about heated vest. That there was no stipulation on that.
Do you have one of those?
I might.
You might. Maybe missing it when you get there.
I have some plans.
All right. Well, let's roll. I know we'll get these guys out of here today. Zach Arnett hired at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Really good hire.
It's probably the hire they would have made anyway had Mike retired, which was the rumor back in October, November.
There's a reason he turned down the jobs to stay there. So I think it's been because I know people have been trying to get him out of there, and he hasn't left.
Yeah, I know of at least 2 that tried to get him
Yeah.
out. So he knew something was coming, and they gave him a 4-year deal, which it was the right thing to do. There were some people that said, hey, should you have waited
There's no
out of
right
respect? You had to go ahead and get – I mean, it's the reality of life, right? It goes on, and the program goes on, and you've got recruiting that's going on and all of those things. And I don't think this prevents them in any shape, form, or fashion at all. This prevents Mississippi State from celebrating the life of Mike Leach, honoring the legacy of Mike Leach, respecting his family, his friends, his career, his accomplishments. They're going to do all of those things. This does nothing to change that. If anything, it just adds some stability to, okay, here's where we're going. And I'm sure that Zach isn't going to do anything whatsoever in the next, 16, 17 days before now, and when they play Illinois in the ReliaQuest Bowl he's not. Let's put it this: he's not going to go on some power trip here over the next 3 weeks. This is. I think he's going to run. He's going to run the program, but the storyline on January the 2nd is going to be about honoring Mike Leach, celebrating Mike Leach, talking about Mike Leach. It's not going to be about Zach. And the day will come when the program's going to be about Zach. But I'm like you, Tyler. I think that day was coming. It just maybe came a little faster than people thought it would come.
Yeah. You know, he's a hell of a ball coach, man. You know what I mean? Like I've coached against him when he was at San Diego State. He was out there with Rocky Long, who was the head coach out there. Dude, they had like one of the longest, if not the longest, winning streak in the country at one time. We played them. Matter of fact, we beat them 2 years in a row at South Alabama, and they did not lose in between. So they had gone undefeated the rest of the year. Lost one game that year, and then they were undefeated when we played them again. But just defensively and what they do and the disruption they cause and the techniques and things, I respect the guy as a coach. I think he's a phenomenal guy. He's going to be sought after, you know. And here's the thing: is that, dude, they did the right thing here because he wasn't going to be there forever. He was going to be a hot. I mean, he's a young guy. I don't understand, and I know we've talked about this before. I just never really understood. When you're ready to be a head coach, you're ready to be a head coach. I don't think it has anything to do with coaching. I think people are like, oh, he should go to, you know, Texas State and be a head coach and all that stuff. Being a head coach is not about calling plays. It's more about being ready with media. It's about, you know, being a professional firefighter because that's what you are. You put out fires all day long. And as a position coach, you're used to dealing with it in your own position room. Okay, you got your guys that act like knuckleheads, and you got to get them situated, and then you move up and you go to the coordinator, and you got to deal with your side of the ball, and then you got to deal with everybody. But look, the players respect him there. He's a hell of a ball coach. I think he'll do really good things. So I'm happy for Mississippi State, and you know those people there that have some continuity moving forward as they try to as they grieve and move forward with their program.
All right, tell me about Drew Brees. I did not know until I was today years old when I found out that Drew Brees was a temporary assistant at Purdue. What's going on there?
Yeah, this happened, I guess, an hour or two ago. I don't know if it's temporary or not. I think they snuck that in there. What's he doing? Nothing.
Well, he was bad at TV, so
what's he going to do for the next 40, 50 years? I mean, I think he sees what Deion's doing. I think he sees some of that. He's bored. He obviously knows ball. New head coach.
Well, he's sharp as a tack now. I covered him when he was with the Saints. He is.
I would not be surprised if this was. I would be surprised if this is temporary.
You think he'll be on the staff at Purdue?
I will be very surprised if this is temporary.
Okay.
I think he's now, unless he just doesn't.
Now, they hired the Illinois defensive coordinator, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I would be surprised if this is temporary.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if he wants to do it.
He's saying this like he knows something. I've been around long enough to know when you keep saying it that way, you're trying to tell me something. So is he the next offensive coordinator at
I
Purdue?
don't know that. I really don't. Not a quick Ucline. I don't know that.
Can you confirm or deny that he is the next offensive coordinator? If I tell you he is the next offensive coordinator,
I'd be like, oh, cool.
Don't blink.
What now?
Okay, he is. There you go. Proof. It's amazing. Wow. No, breaking news.
Yeah, no, I do. I think the guy is I think there's something to this thing. Like, I think with Deion doing what he's doing, I think there's some guys at home that are bored.
Yeah.
And they go, man, by God, I can go do this too. I'd be interested to see. And in the new age of coaching that we're in right now, again, being a head coach, people get really confused. I never understood why you had to go be a great coordinator, like play caller and score points or defense and shut people out to be a head coach. Has nothing to do with it. Very few head coaches call plays. I don't think fans understand that. Very few head coaches call plays. Now, got to recruit, got to be organized, got to do those things. Got to be a motivator. You got to coach the coaches and be a good leader. But the number one job the number one and number two job of a head coach is to put out fires, and you got to answer the bell. It's your fault, so you have to answer the bell to the media and go. You have to go to the press conference. But it's not about calling plays. So I think you can be successful with different types of individuals as a head coach.
Eric Morris gets the job at North Texas. You're pretty high on this guy.
Dude, very high. So he was a position coach at Texas Tech. Him and I shared the same agent. He goes and gets the head coaching job at.
In my mind, just so you know the way I live, both of my parents are English people. My mother has a master's in English. My father has a master's in English and a doctorate in education.
I must drive you fucking crazy.
In my mind, I corrected it. He said him and I, and
Gotcha.
I said he and I.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In my mind, I went he and I.
You have no chance with me. I apologize. I must drive you absolutely batshit crazy.
No, I'm really good about it, but every once in a while, I'll
Other way.
Yes, sideways.
Oh, so talk to it to
There
the
you
side.
go.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, yours are completely the opposite.
Okay.
So it's taking a minute because I feel like I'm hiding behind this thing. But
So do I need to talk right into the side of it like this?
yeah, that's really loud.
Where that logo is that you can see is where the speaker is on the inside. So you'll be clear the closer you get to that logo.
Hello?
You're good.
I'm
Hello?
good. Yeah, no, it sounds great.
It's me.
Yeah, but I'm terrible at English, by the way. Terrible. But let me tell you what I am. I can do some math.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's good.
I'm low key math guru. And it's
Eric
not
Morris.
Eric Morris. Yeah, so him and I
He and I.
know I did that on purpose.
Oh,
again.
there you go.
Him and I, that's how we do it in Alabama. We shared the same agent. He went to Incarnate Word, was a head coach there for really, really, really brief period of time. Then he went to Washington State for 1 year and turned them around pretty quickly. He's a really innovative. He's an air raid guy. He comes from the same family.
So is Ward the quarterback that went up there?
Yeah.
Is he still up there or is he finished?
That's a good question. I do not know that. But he's going back to Texas where he was. Look, I'm just telling you, the guy's sharp, very good offensive mind. He's very sharp, probably one of the most sneaky, underrated hires out there. And Seth Luttrell left that thing. I mean, there's players there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, they have dudes. I'd expect him to win rather quickly.
Okay.
So that's a really good hire for those guys.
All right, Charlie Baker, the new president of the NCAA. The NCAA going through some change these days. Life is different.
You think?
Growing pains.
Yeah, I think it's more than growing pains. I think they've more than anything, they have just said, all right, you people wanted anarchy. By God, here it is. And they've just taken their toys and run home.
Hey, Brennan's making fun of. He said this is not my best camera angle, and basically sent me the fattest picture he can fucking send to me. I mean, like,
Well, I noticed that in this.
if this is what I look like, I got fucking like.
I
You know
can
how you
tilt
have
it
like
down.
body, yeah, like that's
Body
like, holy-
dysmorphia.
yeah, that's just the opposite. Look
Yeah.
at that shit. Like I look like I weigh 7,000 pounds. Do I look like that? Is that what I look like to you?
No,
Not
I can,
quite.
I can
Okay.
tilt it down and give you a little bit better
I don't
angle.
give like literally all kidding aside, I don't give a shit. I really don't. My give a shit meter about what I look like when way a long time ago. Yeah, dude, very interesting here. Does anybody else find that interesting that they hired a sitting governor to run the NCAA? Because you know what this is leading up to.
I don't.
This is going to lead up to trying to get legislation done, federal legislation done with
To do
NIL.
what?
With NIL.
Well, look.
And he is it's voted. I actually went and looked this up because I wanted to see about the guy. I didn't know anything about him. He's a Republican in Massachusetts. Him and the lieutenant governor are the only two Republican elected state positions in that state. And he's seen as across the board as the most liked
Okay.
bipartisan person or whatever they call it in the country.
Bipartisan. NIL does need some regulation. It can't just continue to go. It's not even. And boy, people hear this and they go, "Look, I'm not in the stream, so I won't even see it if people say it." I'm not against the kids getting paid at all. I'm not against the kids getting paid a lot. I don't want to cap what they can make, but there has to. The NCAA is going to have to. Or whoever, whether it's at some governing body, right? Everybody hears NCAA and they think investigators. screw that. There are no rules anymore, except there has to be some control a little bit. You can't just go wild, wild west forever. It won't work. I mean, I thought at one point last year, we talked about it, I thought at one point they were going to go, hey, there's not a one-time transfer. You can just transfer as many times as you want to. And I thought, man, you guys are just creating chaos. And luckily they looked at that and said, no, that's probably not a great idea. They do have to get some management over NIL. And by the way, God, I'm mad at myself. It's not NIL. It's just salary. It's
PFP, man. We've already coined this phrase.
It's PFP. It's pay for play. It's salary. It's the same thing as Rivals hired me. We agreed to a contract. I wouldn't have done it otherwise. They didn't pay for my name, image, and likeness. No, they paid for my services, for me to write and talk and stuff. It's not NIL. We have to stop calling it that. It's. I'm mad at myself. I asked Lane Kiffin a question the other day, and I referred to it as NIL. I should have said, Lane, are the kids just asking how much salary they can get? Is it because he answered with, why do kids get in the portal? His answer was great. Credit to him. He's about the only coach that flat out says it this way, to his credit. And I don't always agree with everything Kiffin does. I'm not kissing his ass here when I say this. I'm just being honest. He said, used to be the kids, first, the goal was, the idea was the kids that would get in the portal would be the kids who weren't playing. They weren't happy with their coach. Their coach left, whatever, unhappy. He goes, now we got happy kids. Kids who are playing. And you say, why are you in the portal? Money, I can make more money. Okay.
It's fair.
Well, that's salary. That's not NIL.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of dudes. I'll say it out loud because it applies everywhere. But the program that I cover, Ole Miss, there's a bunch of kids at Ole Miss that are getting NIL money that aren't doing anything services-wise. And so it's not NIL. It's salary, and that's fine, but you do have to have some form of regulation over that. Lane made a great point because he used to go, this is pro sports. And I would be like, except it's not.
Yeah.
And the other day he goes, can you imagine what the NFL would be like if every year – think about this for a minute.
That's what it is.
If every year, no matter hey, you're Jamar Chase. I had a great rookie year with the Bengals. I think I will go to free agency.
How rich would he be right now?
Hey, so he signs with the Jets. And the Jets go, all right, Jamar. And then he goes, has a great year for the Jets. And he goes, you know what? I think I'll go back into free agency. Well, holy Mike Trout. Can you imagine if Mike Trout or Shohei Ohtani could go into free agency every single year?
Yeah.
And I guess he could, right? Shohei Ohtani becomes a free agent next season. There's nothing stopping him from telling his agent, so here's what I want to do. I want to sign a 1-year deal. And at the end of next year, I want to be a free agent again. And then I'm going to sign another 1-year deal. And his agent would say to him, yeah, that's cool, Shohei, but what happens if you get hurt? Right? What happens if you get hurt? And so when people say, what's in it for the players to agree to something with NIL, I'll tell you what it is. It's you have the ability to now maybe sign a 4-year contract with the University of Texas.
They already do.
They sign a 1-year.
No,
it's a 1-year.
No, I'm talking about there is from a scholarship standpoint.
You can do a 2-year.
You can do a 5-year.
But nobody does it.
Oh, well, most everybody does.
But they don't.
They really do.
They can process you after 1 year.
They can, but you have to do it on your own. They can process you, but they can't force you to do it unless they do it for less. But most of the big schools are doing. But that's not even that used to be kind of the NIL deal, right? The contract stuff, but nobody even looks at that anymore.
Okay.
Almost every university is doing the 4- and 5-year stuff now, but it doesn't even matter. And I hear this about, and I did want to say this about NIL. Everybody says, well, coaches can leave or players can leave. Well, here's the thing. Yes and no. Coaches can leave and go to the next job, but you know what else they do if they lose? They get their ass fired.
Well, and the coaches have buyouts too, right? That's worked into their deals.
You have buyouts, and you can be fired. Well, you can't fire a player right now. You can process them and do those things, but you can't fire a player. And they have to get control of it. But I think with this move, even more than getting control of it, one of the biggest issues right now across college football is not every school, because of the state that they happen to be located in, is playing by the same rules. You saw Tennessee last week passed their NIL legislation. There's a lot of states that are behind. as far as their rules and what's allowed and things like that in NIL. And I think everybody just wants to play by the same rules, whatever those are. But I say all that to say this, and I wrote this down here. Let me tell you, I will tell you when I'm wrong, and I really overlooked this when this all happened. I thought that it was going to be all about money. And now we're going in really into year 2 of this. And besides the big boys, you can take out your A&Ms and all that. But everybody else, a lot of them are playing with the same amount of money in their war chest. And recruiting is coming down to relationships. When everything's equal, it's coming down to relationships. And you're starting to see that with recruits or even taking a little bit lesser money. Not a lot less, but, $50,000 less or whatever. They're taking lesser money and choosing the relationship over just whatever the number is.
I won't name the program, but there's a prominent program that right now is not matching offers, and they're dominating in recruiting. I mean, there's an NIL package, a salary package, a pay-for-play package in place. Don't get me wrong. But they're not – when a kid comes in going, okay, I want 5 times that. Nope. But we'll get you ready for the next level.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk as much about NIL. We're going to talk a good bit more about NFL because that's where the money is. Like, Jamar Chase has made a lot more with the Bengals than he made at LSU.
Close.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
teasing.
I mean, all jokes aside.
Yeah. He's close. He's getting there.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example close to your heart.
Uh-oh. Don't get me in trouble.
Yeah, it's like
Whoa.
N'Kobe Dean's making more with the Eagles.
This episode brought to you by the Biden administration.
Mask up, everybody. COVID's coming back. You didn't say it. I did.
I'm just thinking about Vegas.
Okay. Let me go back to Jamar.
Go ahead. I'm just teasing.
I mean, there's just more money.
I'll just be quiet over here.
There's more money in the NFL than there is at the college level, no matter where. I mean, I keep having people say, well, you could come back for your one more year. If you're going to be a 4th or 5th round pick, you could make more at that school. Okay, but how many schools are really paying that kind of money for a 5th round pick guy? I mean, or you can go to the NFL and make a club. If you're going to make the club, you're going to make the club. You can make a club and get started on your career. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, you're right. I mean, I wish that they could do something that put everybody on the same rules. And then if they would do that, if they could put everybody on the same rules, when you start looking at NIL and things like that, it's going to start coming back to what it used to be in the black market days. The people that are going to have the money in the black market would have it in NIL for the most part. There'll be some new players, but the same amount of teams because there's some people that had money in the black market that don't have it in NIL. But that's just get them on the same rules. That's probably the biggest thing for me. But anyway, that was very interesting for me. I started seeing a little bit of that like 2 weeks ago and really have followed up on it. But a ton of people that it matters. The relationships are actually kids are taking less money with relationships, and you're seeing the people that have good relationships with players. They're getting them and out of the portal as well. I think that's established. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about.
Got some games.
Got some games, dude. Let's talk about a couple of them because we're going to be on the plane. Hopefully, we get the chance to watch it. To me, I'm going to skip over the first one. I'll cover the second one. Starting off with that, UTSA and Troy is probably the best bowl game of the whole freaking bowl season.
Where's the Cure Bowl? Where's that play?
Orlando.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's in Orlando. They've been down there since when I talked to John the other day. I think they're Monday or Tuesday. But you got two. I think it's the only bowl game that has, besides playoffs, that have 2 conference champions playing each other. And they'll both be motivated. They're both 11-2, both trying to get 12 wins. How about my man John Summerall could get 12 wins in year 1?
And when you think about that, we've done this before. I mean, repetitive, but it blows me away. because we saw them week 1 in Oxford, and they looked fine. But if you had told me that day this team's going to go 12-2, and one of the losses is going to be on a freaky, goofy ass once every 10 years play, I would have said 2 things. Literally, I would have said 2 things. I would have said, well, number 1, you're insane. And number 2, I would have said, but if you're right, holy shit, Ole Miss is in the playoff. That's what I would have thought.
Yeah.
I would have thought, so you're telling me like Jackson Dart's a Heisman candidate? I would have had a difficult time fathoming that. And I say that not to get into that conversation, but more to say, what a coaching job. That tells you that he took that team, and on that particular day, they weren't super disciplined. They were kind of like, he even admitted to us in Mobile, they were having a hard time getting lined up. He took that team and kind of just got them to buy in, got them to play better. They got much more disciplined. They don't have like a bunch of studs on offense. They're okay, but defensively, they're a beast. They're a brick wall, and that is. Listen, if you're out there and you're in the next coaching cycle or 2, this guy's got to be on your short list. Yeah, I mean, he's got to be a guy, Tyler, that you're looking at going, I know what I saw. And to your point, if you can coach, you can coach, right? So if you can do this at Troy, there's no reason that you couldn't do this at an SEC school, at an ACC school, at a Big Ten school. There's no reason why that culture can't translate, that ability to evaluate and develop talent can't translate to a level that's higher up than the Sun Belt.
It's the worst team he's going to have, by the way. Mm-hmm. That's what's scary.
Sure, because he inherited a bunch of guys that weren't his.
They're recruiting very well. Who would ever thought that the battle for the belt is going to be another battle? I mean, it's just you're talking about 2 elite coaches, and then young in their career.
There wasn't much separating those 2 teams that night in Mobile, and you could sort of tell it that hey, both of these programs are upward.
Yeah, and you know, your good friend Triple Mask here says he's waiting on Big Blue Nation, but. Yeah, I mean, he always said he'll be the next head coach of Kentucky, but, with Stoops just signing a deal, he's not in a hurry. His time may be coming before that. You know what I mean? Like, he may get the call before Big Blue Nation opens up.
Yeah, and look, and I get it. I think the Kentucky job's a great job because it's a fun place to live. And
yeah.
But I think for the longest time, people thought that Mark Stoops, I think people thought that he would leave for Iowa.
I was one of them.
I was too. I think people thought, he's going to get an opportunity at an Auburn-type program and jump at it.
He did.
He got the opportunity, but he didn't jump at it. And so, his name was kind of bandied about with LSU a little bit last year. I don't think there's a route they decided not to go.
Yeah.
He's pretty happy at Kentucky. He's, in all seriousness, all jokes aside, he's gotten into bourbon.
Horse racing.
He's gotten into horse racing. He's completely engrossed in the culture there. He had the little spat with Calipari, but people make more of that than they should. It doesn't matter. He's recruited at a pretty good level. They don't
evaluated really well.
They don't demand national championships there. They just need you to be. Can you please just be relevant long enough for us to get to basketball season?
Yeah.
And his answer is, "Yep, I can do that." They're going back to bowls. This year they're going to the Music City Bowl, and suddenly that's a disappointment for them. 2 years ago, that would have been like, yes.
Hell, it wasn't that long ago. Getting to a bowl game was.
Yeah, and they're in bowls every year. And so I don't know that he's leaving is my point.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case and you're a guy like John, who I think a year ago probably thought, you know what, I could probably go to Troy 2-3 years, get the Kentucky job, and I'm rolling. Now if you're John, you got to go. I might not be able to get the Kentucky job just yet. Mark might stay there 4, 5, 6 more years. And if that's the case, he's got decisions to make, right? Because when something pops open, you got to make that. We talked about this on the Oxford Exxon podcast this morning, not about John. Actually, it was referring to Kane, but whatever.
Yeah.
The whole I'm going to bet on myself versus boy, that's a lot of money. And I said, and you might disagree with me here. So
No, you're good.
I think a lot of coaches will probably kind of watch Billy Napier at Florida and say, oh, let's see how this works out, right? Because Billy bet on himself. He had other opportunities. He could have gone other places. And he said, nope, I'm going to stay right here in Lafayette. It's a good gig. He was making a couple $1 million a year.
Yeah.
He was rolling, and they were dominating that league. But football's a weird game. You know this. You can get injuries. Stuff can happen. And a 11-1 team can turn into a 7-5 team pretty fast in football.
Margins thin.
And so when you bet on yourself, sometimes you go over, right? So and it ends up being a mistake. And so it's where I get where guys go, hey, I've got this going here in Lafayette or Mobile or Conway, South Carolina, or wherever, right?
Right.
I've got this thing going. We're rolling. I'm gonna wait for the elite gig. I get it. I totally understand it. But you have to understand the flip side of that gamble is, yeah, boy, you lose 4 or 5 and you fall off a year, and all of a sudden you're not the show pony anymore.
Yeah, interesting thought here. I think this has something to play in some of this that I don't think media is talking about anyway. That I kind of see it. I get what you're saying 100%, and that's the logical way to think about it. I think some of the coaches that are in this situation, the payment of the coach at the Group of 5 level has increased crazy, right? So let's take Billy for example. Well, Billy's was making 2.3,
something like that, yeah.
Okay, well, for him to get offered at that time when he was on the market for those years to get offered 4 or 5 a year and to take a career risk was different than. Example, I can go ahead and tell you, when Hugh Freeze was the head coach at Arkansas State, he was making $220,000 as the head coach at Arkansas State. Let that sink in for a minute. So when he gets an opportunity to come to Ole Miss for 1.5 plus a $100,000 bonus for every SEC win, sign me up. That's tenfold of what I'm making. When, most Group of 5 jobs before Billy, I think Billy was the trendsetter in a Group of 5 level, right? And I'm talking about with salaries. Most Group of 5 head coaches were making $500,000 and $600,000. Well, then a job would come open them $5 to $6 million. That's tenfold. I'm gone. But now all of a sudden you're making $1 million a year, and you get the same fourth. Now it's only fivefold. And then I'm at this place that I'm winning so much that you're renewing me. Okay, you're going to renew me at this place. The Group of 5 level, when you're making that kind of money, is very slow, has a slower trigger finger because they don't have the finances to buy you out.
Billy would have had to have 3 or 4 bad years in a row to get fired at Louisiana Lafayette.
And so you have a chance to get yourself out of it instead of, no, you're at this level, you're right, we'll see you.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, there's no patience, right? So I think there's a little bit of that in there as well, as the fuse is a little longer in the Group of 5 level as far as because they just don't have the finances to pay you out. Like Kane Womack, he just signed his new deal. He pretty much could go over for the next 3 years, and they couldn't do anything about it. He could go over for his next 33. He won't, but he could, and there's nothing they could do about it.
He would harm himself physically if he did.
Probably so.
Yes.
Yeah. I would have to make some trips down to console and give my buddy a hug.
Yeah.
But he won't worry about that. But I think there's a little bit of that in play as well. So, but that's going to be the best bowl game, I think, of the day.
I'm going Trojans minus 1.5 because I've just picked them all year.
That's like, I got to go with my boys there. And then from a gambling standpoint, probably my favorite bet of for a while, UAB minus 11. Sorry, Eastern Michigan. I hope I'm not pulling. This is not Eastern Michigan. I know it's another MAC school. They're playing Miami.
We broke Miami of Ohio.
Okay, just make sure they didn't get. I don't want them to get too upset about it, but
we dominated.
UAB is going to beat the freaking brakes off of Miami of Ohio. Okay, Bryant Vincent is the interim head coach. He's obviously no longer the head coach. Big time players coach. They love him to death. They're going to want to send him out. You talking about because this is about motivation in these bowl games.
All of it.
It's all it's about. It's the Bahamas Bowl. They're going to want to send him out a winner. They got a good team. This is going to be a destruction going on tomorrow, and it's like 10:30 in the morning too. It's early.
So what time is the Troy game?
2:00. 2:00.
We might be able to get it in the air.
I hope that I'm hoping that we're on a plane that has. I'm sure my man John Edwards hooked us up with a plane that has the ESPN thing in the deal that we can watch the ball game in the air. But
I'm sure. Thank you, John.
yeah. If not, we can get Cole to hook it up on the airplane. Break in the Wi-Fi of the airplane and the wires.
Cole to get out on the damn wing.
Find
a reception.
Hold the antenna up.
Yeah.
Send it back to us. And if something happens, it happens.
And then
Sorry, Mom.
I have fallen into the trap. I feel so bad. Like, I'm so concerned about tonight. I've taken the 49ers. Like, this has got to be the biggest rat trap spread in the history of the NFL tonight. The 49ers are -3 against Seattle tonight.
At Seattle.
They just got railroaded. And I watched the game because I bet on it. Railroaded by the Panthers. There can't be a hotter team right now than the 49ers, not named Eagles. I mean, dude, this should be a bloodletting. A bloodletting.
It's loud in Seattle. I don't know if you heard. They have fans that cheer.
I mean, that doesn't have shit to do with throwing and tackling.
But they're called the 12th man.
It's the 12th. They play with 12 men.
Let me tell you how long that lasts. When you run out of the tunnel, you don't hear shit after that. It's freaking claps and let's go.
I've listened to entire television broadcasts that tell me that Seattle has 12 men on the field because of the fans.
Well, they can
you
fly your flag, do what you got to do, maybe rain, whatever it is, but that shit lasts until you get your ass knocked in the mouth, and then you got to like refocus and go play football.
All right, so we leave tomorrow. You fired up? You excited? What's going on? You a little nervous about arriving in Vegas, not knowing what's going to happen with me and Cole, because we might have some plans. We might just disappear.
All right, I think I'm going to.
Cole told me, he goes, "Hey, I want to go to this club, this club."
Oh, I'm
club.
not doing the club thing.
I sent all the recommendations to Neil. So.
Well, y'all can do that shit. I ain't doing that.
We've been vetting the clubs.
I'll come back. My wife will fucking have my shit in the street when I get back. I bet you do like techno, don't you?
No.
You're a liar.
I do not.
Lies.
Yeah, I have no interest in the clubs.
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
No, I may have a Miller Lite or two, maybe.
Yeah.
But then I'm gonna go straight to bed.
And go to church in the morning.
Yeah, Sunday morning church for sure.
Yeah. Church of Soccer.
Are y'all really doing that thing Sunday morning?
I'm so excited.
Oh, absolutely.
Who made it?
France and Argentina.
You told me this today.
It's France and
Is
Argentina.
that the one? All right, who are the two players?
Mbappe.
Did that guy make it?
Yes.
Yes, Messi with Argentina is probably one of the 5 best players to ever play. He's literally a living legend.
Is he better than Pele?
Probably.
Couldn't tell you. I never watched Pele, so I don't.
Well, you're not a real soccer fan then.
Well, Pele's like, might as well say, was he as good as Babe Ruth?
I'm just busting balls.
Yeah, no, he's in that conversation with Pele, with Diego Maradona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they there in the finals without him?
Probably not.
Okay.
He dominated the game on. Was that Tuesday?
Yeah, it was beautiful. Some of the stuff he did with the ball was incredible.
It was his assist on the third goal.
And then Kylian Mbappe with the French team. He's 23?
23.
And already breaking records at 23. If he stays healthy, he's
So I can.
He's an absolute
What you're saying
superstar.
is at 7:00, you two will be at the sports book watching with all the. I bet I really do.
it will be
I bet
absolutely
it's a
jam
zoo out
packed.
there. Yeah.
It will be packed. Like, I'm literally thinking about no joke. I'm thinking about getting up Sunday super early and like knocking a run out so that I don't feel bad about it, and then going and finding like
You won't be able to get up that early Sunday morning.
watch me finding
I'll be there with you.
finding a place that's like a pub or something, like kind of deal, because I think it's going to be a zoo. I could be wrong because it's going to be 7 a.m. there, so it's a little early
But
for it to be a
it's
zoo.
the World Cup final. I think it'll be.
But it's not only the
pretty
World
packed.
Cup final; it's a historic World Cup final because either Messi's going to get one or Mbappe is going to emerge as, hey, this guy might break every record.
I mean, he could have 2 World Cups by 23 years old.
Think
And
about
win on
that.
Sunday.
How many guys? I mean, how many legends never win a World Cup?
Well, when you play once every 4 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And this guy at 23 could have 2 in his back pocket.
Yeah.
I mean, he could end up.
I do think I am interested in getting outside of my comfort zone, but I'm just going to do it this one time.
Well, you will like this game.
Well,
because
hang on.
Here's
I'm
why.
not talking about this game. I'm
These
talking about
two
hockey.
teams attack.
I'm talking about hockey.
Oh God. Mm-hmm. Are we going to the hockey game?
I think I want to go. I've kind of talked myself into it.
Sign me. I love the NHL. In person, sign me up. I'm in. Now on TV, it's not a very good product.
I like it, the product, but I'm a big hockey fan.
All right, so we're
You
going
have to really know hockey, I think, to understand it on television.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to the Florida Oregon State game. Jack Miller is going to be starting for Florida, by the way. Is that out there yet? Has it been announced?
It's been announced.
Okay. So that will be played
That's that morning. It's like 11:30 Saturday.
11:30 Vegas time.
By the way, when we get there, we're on Vegas time. I'm not doing it's 1:30. No, it's just 11.
No, I'm good. I have to go. Like I can't.
That's so confusing. Otherwise, your phone's going to automatically. Put
I can go by my phone.
Yeah, I'm not talking about you, but a lot of people do this. No, I'm still on Central Time or Eastern Time. I'm like, but you're
My
not.
body will be on.
Literally or not.
You're in Vegas.
I
You're
do.
on
You know
Pacific
how
time.
people have tough time going back and forth. I have the worst time going west.
I've told you before, for whatever reason, when I go west is the only time that I sleep so much better on the Pacific time zone.
Well, I have no problem staying up, because I stay up anyway. My problem is I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. local time.
Well, if I wake up at 4 a.m., I'll just go get my run in, knock that out.
Yeah, but that's what time. I don't care what we do the night before. I will wake up at 4 a.m. local time for the whole week.
I don't think I've ever been on Pacific time before.
Well, you're about to learn.
Have you never been to Vegas?
I've not.
Oh,
You've never been to Vegas?
I've never been
How
to
old are you?
Vegas. I'm 22.
You're about to get turned out.
Let's go.
That's great. It'll be fun. So we get in like at 8:30 Vegas time.
Yep. And
Tomorrow night.
So 11:30 Pacific Standard Time on Saturday is the ball game.
Okay.
So we'll sometime between the time we wake up and the time we leave, we'll do a show.
Yeah, we'll do a show Saturday morning, like 9 o'clock.
Local time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be in Vegas, 9 o'clock in Vegas. So 11 o'clock Central Time.
Okay.
Noon Eastern.
So like 9 to 10:30-ish, and then the game's at 11:30. So.
Okay. And then the Golden Knights, is that their name?
Golden Knights.
Woo! Look at
They play
there.
the Islanders?
The
They do play the
Islanders,
Islanders.
Oh, okay.
or at some time at T-Mobile Arena that night.
Are the tickets available?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay.
That's not. That's by the way, the Vegas tickets are down to like $30.
Oh, I'm sure.
Um,
Have you been to the stadium yet?
no, but we're about to
All
go
right.
twice in
Well,
24
you're
hours.
going to fall in love with the stadium. Allegiant Stadium is amazing. It is the concourses, everything up the sight lines, everything about it is first rate. I loved it. We
Our
went in the
tickets-
summer. I guess it was July. Carson and I went to see Chelsea against Copa Americana or whatever it was,
Yeah.
the team out of Mexico. It's a fantastic arena. And you actually can walk there from the strip. You can. There's a walkway across. You don't have to Uber and all that. You can walk it.
Yeah, so
Easy.
I did learn my one thing I did learn in the several trips that I've made to Vegas. This is your Vegas advice for me. Okay. Is just because it looks like it's right there, it's really not right there. You better bring your freaking walking shoes.
You get your steps in.
Well, see, you're an exercise guy. I'm not an exercise guy.
Well, maybe after looking at that picture,
No shit.
you need to do it. You know?
Brendan's trying to motivate me. Yeah.
No, but you can walk. I mean, we can Uber or whatever. I'm just saying you can walk to Allegiant, and it's fantastic.
It's over by Mandalay, right?
Yeah, it's across the highway from Mandalay, but they have a covered thing over.
Yep.
That's where Florida's staying, right? Mandalay?
Florida staying at the Mandalay.
So we're going to hockey Saturday night.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm down.
I'm fired up.
And then we got the games at 3 o'clock. Our time, so 1 o'clock
it's 1
Pacific time. So we'll
on Sunday.
do a same kind of morning deal there. Show and then go to the NFL.
We'll do a show. We'll do a post World Cup.
Post World Cup, pre NFL Sunday.
Assuming that, and you might have to carry that one because your boy and I we
that
might
could
have
be
had
a fun show.
We might have had a couple of Guinnesses by that point.
Well, dude, I mean, I'm good. I got Game Changer. I'll be good to go.
Okay.
We'll do that, and then we'll fly out to Boise in the morning on Monday morning.
Yeah, early. We have a 6 a.m. flight
Get you some
on
of that.
Monday. Woo. You talk about that's going to be.
Don't you know
6
though?
a.m. Monday out of Vegas. Is there a more hungover flight
Yeah.
in
Don't
America?
you know when they show up with that plane, they're like, yeah, this is gonna
This
be
is
one of those-
this is gonna be rough.
That's gonna be. There's nobody talking on that
That's
plane.
going to be a quiet flight.
Quiet flight.
Yeah.
We get there around noonish.
Yeah, we get there
'Cause we connect somewhere.
literally right afternoon. We connect in Salt Lake City.
Yep. And then that afternoon, which will be nighttime locally here, that afternoon we'll do a show,
Yep.
and then we're gonna go to a dinner with my guy Bob and the monster reps
Yep. I
and
got
Albertsons.
Gage giving us a tour.
Yep. Albertsons reps, and then the game is at.
It's at 11:30. No, 1:30 local.
Okay, we'll look at that though.
I think
And then Neil will have his.
because they're on Mountain Time, correct?
No, I think they're Pacific too.
Is Boise Pacific or
I
Mountain?
would assume Mountain, but I don't know that.
For some reason, I thought they were Mountain Time, an hour behind us.
We'll get it
So
figured out.
it's 2:30 our time, the Potato Bowl. So let's see.
1:30 there.
Let's see what time zone they're in.
As long as the phone changes, I'm good.
Hey Siri, what time zone is Boise, Idaho in?
Mountain Standard Time.
Oh, there you go.
That's wild. All right, so we'll do that, and then
Then we're gonna go out. We're going out Tuesday night. We're gonna go find some of Boise's establishments.
yeah,
We're gonna hit
my
some
man
bars.
Bob will be with us.
We're gonna hit some bars on Tuesday night. Then we fly back Wednesday.
That's it. And then it's ho 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 time. I'm excited for Christmas. I need a break. You need a break.
Yeah. So I get back on. We'll be flying back on National Signing Day, which fans, and I get it, the portal and signing day being on the same highway has made people think of National Signing Day as the end, everyone getting off the same exit ramp, and they don't. But I understand why that's confusing
Yeah.
to fans. I 100% get it because, frankly, sometimes it's confusing to me. But people are like, well, signing day is going to be – no, the portal guys don't sign on signing day, just the high school kids. And so they're going to get off the exit ramp on the 21st at 8 in the morning like they always have. But all the other portal dudes are going to keep going on the highway, right? And so there's going to be this confusion. But, yes, the end of the day on the 21st, Chase and I might do a morning podcast on the 22nd, and then I'm done. I'm shutting it down until the Texas Bowl.
Are you going?
I don't think so. There's really no reason to go. They're dysfunctional from a media standpoint, and so
Who, the bowl game?
The bowl game. It's an ESPN events.
Oh, if you
produced
get an
bowl.
ESPN bowl game,
Well, it's one of those. It's
coaches actually like it, but
yeah,
I know
there's-
it's bad for media,
There's really
right?
there's like a media thing around noon on the 26th. So how do you get there by then? I'm not traveling on Christmas Day. I'm not doing it. I've done that before in my career. I'm not doing it again.
That sucks.
Yeah, you've done it too. It sucks, and I'm not going to do it. And there's nothing on the 27th, and the game's not till 8 o'clock. And I was telling Chase this earlier today. It follows the Liberty Bowl, which kicks off at 4:30 in Memphis with Arkansas and Kansas. So if Arkansas and Kansas happen to go long or go overtime or anything like that,
We'll start out on the app.
they'll kick you back 15, 17 minutes first.
Oh, they have that long of a run
Yeah,
in
so
the
they
bowl
can
games?
they can run you back. It's ESPN, it's their event. They can do what they want with it.
Fair.
They'll back you up to 8:17. Well, before you know it, the game's not over till midnight. The media stuff's not done till 1. Nah, probably just do it from Oxford and write from Oxford and then do a big post game show the next day, something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. This one thing with our business is when the coaches shut down, we can shut down.
Yeah.
So we're getting Wednesday's our last day.
Oh, good.
So we're going to shut it down. Cole's really excited about that. So
Well, you'll pick me up tomorrow at my house, and there might be something in my cup.
hey, that's all right.
I know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm getting up in the morning, getting a run in, so it'll be over with.
Are you going to really try to exercise while you're out there?
A little mental thing.
Okay. I mean, I'm good. What?
Probably not a lot. What I'm planning to do is I'm gonna run tomorrow, Friday early, and then no joke, I'm gonna try to do something early Sunday, if it's possible. It might not be. It might just be like screw it. But I'm gonna try to, and then maybe early Tuesday.
What about? So you've already packed, right?
Pretty packed.
All right, so help me out here.
Chaps.
No, seriously.
No.
I'm being dead serious. Are you taking your cowboy boots?
I haven't decided.
Okay. How many pairs of jeans did you pack?
2.
How many shirts did you pack? Button-up shirts.
2. Because I figure we might go someplace nice once or twice.
Yeah, I'm
glad we had this conversation, so I'll bring some nice clothes. Thank you guys for this.
Yeah, look. Hey, you're about to get turned out in Vegas. Don't worry about it. We got you handled. We'll just
Great thing about Vegas is that you can literally damn near do anything. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
There's a handful of places that have like.
It's Disney World for people over 21.
There's a handful of places that have like a very loose dress code. So I mean,
Look,
as a guy, it never hurts to keep a button down.
You just got to make sure that you bring your tie and your jacket.
Oh, shut the hell up. I got some hoodies and sweaters.
All right, how many toboggans you got?
Toboggans. Oh, the hat?
Yeah, that's what we call those things.
Right now, just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm going to dress as obnoxiously warm as I can possibly dress on Tuesday.
I mean, if
it's going to be cold in Vegas now.
Vegas is going to be cold, but it's not going to. But in the daytime, it's not going to be that bad because it's going to be 50 and sunny. Now, at nighttime in Vegas, it's going to get a little chilly.
Yeah. Is it cold at a hockey? Is it cold because of the ice at the hockey?
No, not really. No.
At like a youth rink, it would be, but not at an arena like that.
Have you never been to an NHL game?
I've never been to an NHL
Oh
game.
yeah,
I've been to a minor league hockey game.
He's
We gotta
in
go
for a
because
treat.
it's a different deal.
I've been to a minor league hockey game.
No,
But
this is different.
But I've never been to
This
that.
is different. The speed will blow you away.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
the
down.
difference between you've been to NBA games.
I have been to one, maybe two. My man Brennan.
It's the difference between go to a MAC college basketball game, good game,
Yeah.
and then go to an NBA game. Go to an NBA game the next night, and the speed is just whoa.
So
that's NHL.
I don't know.
The speed on the NHL that is just
I
unbelievable.
don't know if Brennan's still in here. Brennan somehow we went to San Antonio, I think, for the convention one year. Brennan knew somebody or something. We had floor seats. Spurs game.
Oh yeah.
Floor seats, and that was. It's almost like it ruined me forever going back to an NBA game.
Sure.
Because it was like you walked out and you had your own private bar underneath the regular stands. It was a good experience.
There are a few things cooler. I've only got to do it one time. There are a few things cooler if you like basketball than sitting first 3 or 4 rows at an NBA game where you see how physical the game is. I had someone refer to basketball to me the other day as a non-contact sport, and I laughed out loud. I was like, dude, stop.
They get after it. They get after it.
And they're so big.
Speaking of, have you seen?
That's what she said.
Have you seen Shaq on HBO Max?
Not yet.
Dude, legit. It talks about all the injuries and that he went through and played, and how he got to where he took his thing was to take pain pills before every game.
I'm sure.
And he played through the playoffs with a torn quad. I mean, it was.
I can't imagine.
He just gets shot up and go. Like, he was a beast. Like that. If you haven't watched Shaq on HBO Max, you need to watch it. You would really, especially as much as you like the NBA. Yeah. You would love it. And
he was a great player.
It kind of gives. What's our show on HBO Max about the Lakers?
Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, Winning Time.
Winning Time, right? The one that we like so much with.
It's called Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty.
Oh, yeah. Because season 2 is about to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's amazing. They have, Jerry Buss and all that. It's amazing how much they look alike. Like it brings you back a little bit. So it's good stuff.
We've been brought to you by Walk On Sports Bistro. They put everything they've got into bringing you game day, taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp, fan favorites like juicy burgers, fresh salads, 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Check them out in Oxford or Ridgeland today. And don't forget, we've been brought to you, and our trip to Vegas and Boise is brought to you by Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAA's electrolytes, 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more. So we will see you guys. God.
You see who it's from?
Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. Who is that?
Here, don't let us see. Don't let it get on camera.
Okay.
You see the stuff I have to deal with.
That's ridiculous. We'll be back with you from Vegas on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, whatever that time is. We'll be back with you on Saturday and again on Sunday at some point, depending on our level of sobriety.
Are we okay to drink rye beverages on the show?
I don't see why not.
All right, let's do it. I'm pre-gaming on both of those, so
I'm not
on 3 of them. I mean, we're literally doing a show from a bar. Something's going down.
Yeah, well, for sure.
This is maybe the most entertaining thing we've ever done.
That was the plan, right?
Yeah. I'm going to get after it.
Okay.
Hey, also make sure before we get out of here that all the fans follow us on social media.
Yes.
At McCready. What's the full?
McCready Siskey on Twitter.
Yeah.
McCready and Siskey on Instagram. I'm going to be posting more like daily, like kind of where we are on our Instagram stories.
Yeah, we're gonna do some.
posting
We'll
kinda like a
we'll have
live
some
show.
videos. We'll do some.
bits.
We'll do some what we call vlogs. We'll do a little
Yeah.
vlogging.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time. We'll make sure you guys are kind of along with us a little bit. We'll have some fun as we go. So we'll check with you on Saturday. Until then, thanks for being with us. Thanks for making us a part of your week. Look forward to visiting with you this weekend. And for Tyler, for Cole, I'm Neil. Take care.